Every single day, someone with a product nobody wanted sold out. And someone with the best product in the room sold nothing. The difference was never the product. It was never the price. It was never luck. The difference was always the seller. Today I'm going to give you the 5 principles that separate sellers who struggle from sellers who consistently close, no matter what they're selling. So if you haven't already, grab that pen and a piece of paper or a notebook and let us dive in. Most people approach selling completely backwards. They lead with the product. They talk about features, specifications, how long it took to make, why it's good quality. And the customer switches off within 30 seconds. Why? Because the customer does not care about your product. They care about themselves. They care about their problem, their need, their life. The moment you understand that, everything about how you sell changes. Principle number 1. Sell the outcome, not the product. Nobody buys a mattress because they want a mattress. They buy it because they want to sleep better, wake up without back pain, feel rested. Nobody buys a course because they want videos to watch. They buy it because they want the skill, the income, the transformation on the other side. Your job as a seller is never to describe what the product is. Your job is to paint a clear picture of what the buyer's life looks like after they have it. That picture is what makes people buy. Not your product description. Let me give you a real example. 2 sellers are selling the same phone. Seller A says, this phone has a 108 megapixel camera, 5000 milliamp battery, and 256 gigabytes of storage. Seller B says, this phone means you never miss a shot at your kid's graduation. The battery lasts 2 full days, so you're never scrambling for a charger. And you'll never have to delete a memory to make space. Same phone. Same specs. But seller B is selling what the buyer actually wants, which is moments, convenience, and peace of mind. Seller B closes the deal. Principle number 2. People buy from people they trust. Before a customer decides whether to buy your product, they decide whether they trust you. This happens fast. Sometimes within seconds. And if the trust isn't there, it doesn't matter how good your product is or how competitive your price is. They will not buy. Trust is built through 3 things: consistency, credibility, and confidence. Consistency means you show up the same way every time, your message, your energy, your promises. Credibility means you know what you're talking about and you can prove it. Confidence means you believe in what you're selling so completely that it becomes contagious. If you don't believe in your product, your customer will feel that before you finish your first sentence. Building trust doesn't require years. In a single conversation, you can build enough trust to close a deal if you do these things. Ask more than you talk. The buyer should be speaking more than you in the first half of the conversation. Listen carefully and reflect back what they say. Use social proof, tell them who else has used it and what happened. Be honest about limitations. If your product has a weakness, name it yourself before they do. This sounds counterintuitive. But admitting a small flaw makes everything else you say more believable. Principle number 3. Understand the real objection. When a customer says, it's too expensive, that is almost never the real objection. When they say, I need to think about it, that is almost never about thinking. These are surface objections. Polite ways of saying something they haven't said out loud yet. Your job is to find the real one. The real objection is usually one of 4 things: they don't trust you enough yet. They don't see enough value to justify the price. They're not the decision maker. Or they've had a bad experience before and they're protecting themselves. Once you identify the real objection, you can actually address it. Until then, you're arguing with a wall. Here's the formula for handling any objection. And I hope you are writing this down. I know you might be saying you will memorize all of it, but you certainly won't. Back to my point. First, acknowledge it. Don't fight it. Don't ignore it. Say, I hear you. Then clarify, ask what specifically is making them hesitant. Then address the real root. If it's price, reframe the value. If it's trust, offer proof. If it's a past bad experience, acknowledge it and show what's different. And finally, confirm. Ask if what you've said addresses their concern. Most salespeople skip the acknowledge and clarify steps and go straight to defending the product. That's why most objections end in a lost sale. Principle number 4. Price is about perception, not numbers. Two sellers sell the exact same product, one for $500, one for $2,000. The one priced at $2,000 sells more. This happens constantly. Why? Because people use price as a signal of quality. High price means high value in the buyer's mind, unless you've already destroyed that perception through poor presentation, weak confidence, or no trust. This is why how you present your price matters as much as the price itself. Never lead with price. Build value first, so that by the time you name the number, they already believe it's worth it. When you lead with price, you're negotiating before you've earned the right to. Let's bring in the numbers because this is where most sellers lose money silently. You buy a product for $200. You sell it for $300. You think you made $100 in profit. But did you account for transport? Packaging? Data used to market it? Time? When you add those in, your real profit might be $40. Or even less. This is the difference between gross profit and net profit. Gross profit is selling price minus cost price. Net profit is what remains after every expense. Most sellers only calculate gross and wonder why they feel broke despite making sales. Know your full cost before you set your price, or your pricing is just guessing. Principle number 5. The follow-up is where the money is. Studies consistently show that 80% of sales happen after the 5th contact with a potential buyer. Read that again. 80% after the 5th contact. But most sellers give up after 1 or 2 attempts and assume the customer isn't interested. The truth is most customers need time. They need reminders. They need to see you consistently before they feel safe enough to buy. The follow-up is not desperation. It is professionalism. It is a system. And sellers who have a follow-up system make significantly more money than sellers who rely on first contact alone. Here are the rules for following up without being annoying. Every follow-up must add value, don't just check if they've decided. Share a testimonial. Answer a question they might have. Give them new information. Space your follow-ups, don't contact someone 3 times in one day. And always make it easy to say yes, remove friction, make payment simple, make delivery clear. The buyer is not avoiding you. They are busy. Your job is to stay visible, stay helpful, and stay easy to buy from. Let's bring all 5 together because this is your new foundation as a seller. 1. Sell the outcome, not the product. 2. Build trust before you try to close. 3. Find the real objection, not the surface one. 4. Build value before you name the price. 5. Follow up consistently with a system. Every sale you have ever lost can be traced back to breaking one of these 5 principles. And every sale you will make from this point forward will be because you applied them. Before I let you go, one mindset shift that ties everything together. Stop thinking of yourself as someone who is trying to take money from a customer. Start thinking of yourself as someone who is solving a problem they already have. When you genuinely believe your product improves their situation, selling stops feeling like pressure and starts feeling like service. The best sellers in the world don't close deals through tricks or manipulation. They close because they understand their customer deeply, they believe in what they offer, and they make it easy to say yes. That is not a talent you're born with. It is a skill you build. And you just started building it. Now you have the 5 principles. But knowing them is only the beginning. The next video breaks down something that destroys more sellers than anything else, and it's not the economy. It's not competition. It's not the market. It's pricing. Specifically, why most sellers price wrong, and exactly how to fix it with a formula anyone can use. Turn on that notification icon so that you do not miss it when it drops. And drop a comment right now. Which of the 5 principles hit hardest for you? I want to know where you're starting from. Subscribe to Jonas the Salesman. New lessons every week. I'll see you in the next one.